Here, go! Number 47, Storm and Ocean. Number 57, Chicken. And number 63, Jonathan. Okay, after the coin toss, looks like your Bears are going to kick off and defend the north end zone. Our officiating crew this evening, our referee, Mike Lang. Our umpire is Jim Pocat. Our linesman, Matt Lang. Our linesman, Tito Smith, and our back judge is Bill Griffin. Gentlemen, have a nice game. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to John Wall Stadium.
My name is
Jim Wall Stadium.
Alongside Austin Burnett, who will be with us in just a couple of moments. The Friday Night Lights is what
For
we have
tonight's
for you this
varsity
evening
matchup,
between the Basha Bears
the Hawks of Highland High against Gold.
In this matchup, we have two undefeated teams in 6A, and we're just about set for kickoff. Some notable names for tonight's game. For the Basha Bears, of Ty Sifferman so far on the season. Sifferman with 26 receptions for 332 yards and a 12.8 average. He leads his team in all-purpose yards as Basha takes the field there in the black uniforms tonight, and we're just getting set for kickoff. Basha in the black uniforms, Highland in the white. Sifferman will get set to kick off. As this game's just about to get set to kick off. Basha comes in this game, as I said, 4-0. Highland is 4-0 as well, led by head coach Brock Farrell. Chris McDonald, in his first season with this Basha program. He's gotten them off to a good start after a 3-8 record last season. Sifferman getting set to kick off for the Bears. Kick is up, and it's into the Friday night sky here in Chandler, and it's going to be picked up by the man back deep to return. He's going to bring it up out to the 15, past the 20, all the way out to the 25, and there's a flag on the field, and that's how this game will start, with some laundry out on the field. So, joined alongside now by my color partner, Austin Burnett. Austin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long day, but I'm doing all right.
So opening kickoff is brought out to the 20-yard line, but it looks like it's going to be coming back for the Highland Hawks. At quarterback tonight for Highland, it's going to be number 10. That's Caleb Herbert. Herbert on the season, 51 for 70 for 728 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Last week he was 23 for 31, or pardon me, last week he was 23 for 31 for 337 yards. So Herbert under center. We'll start with the ball out the 20. Here's the handoff. It's going to be out to the right side, pushing forward for the Hawks for a gain of about 2 yards. It's like that's going to be number 1. That's Connor Cullimore.
Nice little play off the right tackle there.
Cullimore, a name you're going to hear a lot tonight. One of the big players for the Hawks. Jack of all trades. can really move around all over the field. So Herbert's going to get in the shotgun set. Has one running back to his left, three receivers out to his left. He's going to hand it off up the middle. It's going to be a gain of about 1 yard, and that's going to set up a third down for the Bears.
Yeah, nothing doing really here in the early going. They want to get some early game momentum. They're going to have to get things going here.
Well, that's going to bring up 3rd and 7 from the Highland 20-yard line. Early on in this ball game, 0-0 score. Beautiful night here at Basha High School. Herbert's going to have an empty backfield, 2 wide receivers out to his right, 3 to his left. He's going to drop back, looks to his right, has a man downfield, and he has him, and he's cutting all the way downfield past midfield, breaks the tackle, and he's going to be all the way down into Basha territory, and that's no verdict for a big gain.
Yeah, just like I was saying earlier, if they're going to get any momentum here in the early going, they're going to have to find some big plays, and that was one for them.
Yeah, Burdick with the reception on the play. He's one of the main wideouts for this Highland team on the season, has 12 receptions for 207 yards, and he leads the team in touchdown receptions. Look for his name as this evening continues. Oh, Herbert will get up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to go under center and hand it off to his halfback, who pushes forward for maybe a yard on the play. That's Daniel Wood on the handoff. Looks like he got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Bash wouldn't have given up that big play. They might be in good business right now with the ball, but that didn't happen. And now they're driving.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 10 as we're under 10 minutes here in the first quarter. Herbert gets the play call from the sideline. He's going to have an empty backfield once again. So the Hawks driving early on in this ball game. Herbert drops back to pass, blitz coming. He's going to dump it off for an intended screen. He has his intended man, that's Crandall, and he's going to push forward for a gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, nice little wide receiver screen there. You can see the linemen let all the defensive linemen rush in as the offensive linemen went to the second, to the next level, which would be the linebackers to pick up those blocks. Nice game, though.
And a nice little play call there, as you said, Austin, letting the blitz come to him, and that set up the screen. And just a nice little game there for the Hawks on that second down. So it's going to be 3rd and short now for the Hawks, 3rd and 4 for Herbert and the offense. He's in the shotgun set. He's going to fake the handoff, or pardon me, hand it off up the middle of the wood. He's going to keep the feet churning, and he's near the first down marker. So Danielle Wood on the handoff, and that's going to move the chains.
Yeah, Wood, the 3rd leading rusher on this team. He has 310 yards on 23 carries. He has 6 touchdowns to his name.
So nice job there by Wood. Was stopped at the initial point of contact, but kept his feet churning and is able to keep this drive going for Highland. Herbert and company, he's going to get up to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get under center. Herbert drops back to pass, looks right, blitz coming, gets rid of it. He has a man in the back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver looking for a flag on the play, but there's no call, and that's going to set up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think there was a few missed blocking assignments there by the O-line. Seemed to be 3 or 4 Highland Hawks there in the backfield really quickly, which caused the quarterback, Cullimore, to overthrow the ball. Or Herbert, sorry.
Oh, an incompletion on that one. That's going to set up 2nd and 10 from the Basha 19-yard line. Herbert has his play call. He's going to get under center. He's going to motion a man to his right. Now he's going to hand it off up the middle. He's going to push forward, and that's Wood. He's going to push forward for a gain of about 1 on the play. So that will set up a 3rd and 8 for the Hawks.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different sets here early on by Highland. They're going with 2 flankers in the backfield with no wideouts and 2 tight ends. They're going spread. They're going 4 receivers. They're going 3 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. We're seeing a lot of things offensively here for Highland.
So 3rd and 7 from the Basha 16-yard line. Herbert in the shotgun set. 2 receivers out to his right, 2 out to his left. He's going to drop back to pass. Blitz coming. It's an set-up screen. He has his man, and he breaks a tackle, and he breaks another tackle, and that's going to be Connor Cullimore, who pushes forward for a first down, and he's all the way down near the 5-yard or inside the 10-yard line. So Collimore, we mentioned, he's going to be one of Herbert's main targets on the evening. He pushes them even further towards the goal line.
Yeah, Herbert doing a good job on this drive for the Hawks, leading this team down early on in the first drive with 7:44 to go here in the first quarter.
Collimore last week was used as a halfback at a 3.9 average out of the backfield. That time he makes a reception. The ball down near the goal line. Here's a handoff. It's going to be Collimore. He's going to break into the end zone, and that's a touchdown. Connor Collimore with the touchdown run, and just like that, it's 6-0 Highland.
Yeah, very solid drive by Highland here early. Using a couple different quarterbacks on this drive. I would say the Wildcat formation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the Wildcat formation that Collimore was in. But it was a pretty nice run here early on to get the Highland Hawks here with the soon-to-be 7-0 lead, pending field goal.
Yeah, and you go for the direct snap. The offensive line does their job up front and really seals the edge, and that allows Collimore to rush in for the end zone, and just like that, looking for the extra point to make this game 7-0. There's the snap. Snap's good. The kick is up, and it's through the uprights, and just like that, a nice first drive of the game for Highland. It's 7-0 Hawks with 7:37 left in the first quarter.
Like I said, a very solid drive here by the combination of Herbert and Collimore. You get this Highland Hawks team a lead here early on, and it just goes back to if Basha would have got that stop before they allowed that big third down play, maybe it would be 7 right now.
Yep, just the little things like that. So a 7-0 start. Highland making a statement drive to start this game. They go up 7-0 early. As I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, a battle of two undefeated teams tonight in a 6A. Both teams 4-0 and off to a very good start, and they're both in first place in their respective leagues.
A very highly anticipated matchup. As I was coming in, I say there was zero parking for this game. I mean absolutely zero. They were parking cars out on the highway. It's a fantastic atmosphere here at Basha.
So 7-0 Highland. They're going to get set to kick off. Back deep to return is number 2, Zion Williams.
Not the basketball player, Zion Williamson.
So Williams back deep to return. He'll get set for the kickoff.
Of course, Williamson is playing at Duke now.
Here's the kick, and it's up near the end zone. It's going to hit the back of the end zone and roll through, and it'll just be a touchback for this Basha offense. So when you talk about this Basha offense, you look at the statistics, and they have a little bit of a 2-quarterback system. Both of their quarterbacks have played in all 4 games. That's Connor Phelan and number 16, Gabe Friend. Phelan's going to start off tonight. You might see Friend later on, but look out for 2 quarterbacks in tonight's game. Phelan on the year, 41 for 60 for 565 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He's now back in the shotgun formation. The ball is on 25-yard line. Here's a handoff to the halfback. That's Cole Lundberg, and he's stacked up in the backfield. Looks like a loss of 1 on the play.
Lundberg, we mentioned his name a lot over the past couple of weeks. He's a key part to this offense, and he's going to be a big part for them tonight.
Lundberg just a couple weeks ago, a couple of rushing touchdowns in Basha's last home game. He gets the first handoff of this game, but it's going to be no gain on the play. Going to set up 2nd and 10 for Basha from their own 25-yard line. Phelan has the play call. He has 2 receivers out to his right, 2 out to his left. He's going to motion a man now out to his right. He's going to await the snap. Now he motions another man. He's going to hand it off. It's going to be a jet sweep. That's Williams. Williams is going to cut up field, but he's stacked up after a nice tackle there on the outside of the field. Oh, Williams, gain of 4 on the play. He's going to set up a 3rd and 6. Ball placed at the Basha 24-yard line.
Yeah, Williams, their 3rd leading rusher on the team. He has only 19 yards, but he does have a touchdown to his name.
So Basha looking to respond after the first touchdown of the game came from Highland. Now Phelan's going to drop back. He has his intended man to the right side. That's number 8. That's Camden Mateen, and that's going to move the chains.
A nice little pass there. To Mateen there to get the chains moving and keep this drive alive.
A nice little hook route there by Mateen. He gets the first down. That keeps the sticks moving. With 6:10 remaining here in this first quarter. So Phelan's gonna rush up to the line. He's gonna get under center. He's gonna hand it off. And that's gonna be stopped near the initial line of scrimmage. Looks like no gain on the play.
And nothing doing there on first down. Defense did a nice job of corroding the hole and to stop there early on first down.
We'll set up 2nd and 10. Clock continues to tick down here in this first quarter. Under 5:50 remaining now. Phelan getting the play call from the sideline. He's going to now relay it to his offense. 7-0 Highland, as I said early on in this ball game. Phelan in the shotgun set. No one in the backfield. 2 receivers out to his right, 3 to his left. Phelan he has a man over the middle. That's Mateen again, and he is hit, and the ball is dropped on the play, and it's going to now set up a 3rd and 10 for the Bears.
Yeah, it would have been a nice little gainer, but he did drop it, causing it to be incomplete. 3rd and 10 now.
And so far, a good job by this Highland defense, really swarming the football, making tackles at the initial point of contact, and really not allowing any yards after the catch, especially when the Bears have elected to go to the air. Phelan gets his play call. He's going to relay it to the offense. Has 2 receivers out to his right, 2 out to his left. He motions a man, that's Williams, out to his left. Phelan drops back to pass, looks to his left. He's going to go deep down the field for Sifferman, and he's going to overshoot him. That's going to set up 4th down for the Bears. So after an initial first down on the drive, 4 straight incompletions for the Bears, and that's going to set up a 4th down. Back deep to return for Highland is Connor Collimore. Collimore back deep to receive. Here's the punt. It's up and into the air. Collimore has it. He's going to evade a tackle, now break back upfield. He's out past midfield, past the 50, all the way out, down past the 45, 40 to the 30, all the way 25 to the 20, and he's inside the 20-yard line. What a return for Connor Collimore. We have some whistles after the play, but a nice return by Collimore.
I don't know if you could hear the coordinators in the room beside me, but they were going nuts because of that huge block over there on the far sideline. They might call this helmet to helmet, maybe? I don't know if that's a high school rule or not.
There was a large amount of whistles after play, no flag on the play.
There on the far side of the field where that big hit was made.
Refs are having a discussion right now, and it looks like it is indeed going to be on Highland. That's going to set them back after a nice return from Connor Collimore.
Incredible block to allow Collimore to get the edge on that last punt return, and it will be for none as the ball will be moved back from the spot file.
So that will push Highland all the way back into their own territory. Flag, as Austin mentioned, was on the other side of the field. So that will set them back. 7-0 in this ball game. First touchdown of the game was courtesy of Connor Collimore. Just a 3-yard punch into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. That was earlier in this first quarter. Now Herbert in the shotgun set. He's going to get a high snap, hand it off up the middle to Collimore, but he's stacked up and pushed back in the backfield. Looks like it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play.
As a long second down, and they will mark it at 2nd and 11 here after a loss of 1 on first down. It's going to be an empty set here. Correction, it will be 1 running back on the backfield.
So Herbert in the shotgun set. He's going to drop back to pass. He has pressure coming. He's rolling out the pocket, and he's going to go down, and that's going to be a big loss for the Hawks. That time, good defensive pressure there by the defensive line of Basha. They're getting into the backfield, flushing Herbert out of the pocket. He couldn't evade the pressure and just went down on the play. That's going to set up a 3rd and long for Highland. Under 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Score is 7-0. Highland scored on the first possession of the game. So Herbert in the shotgun set has a single back to his right, 2 receivers out to his right, and 2 out to his left. As Herbert drops back, there's a flag on the play. See what the call is. Like it's going to be a delay of game, and that's going to set back Highland 5 yards further. So now that's going to, with the penalty or back-to-back penalties, it's going to make it 3rd and 30 from the Highland 25-yard line.
Bash is going to be in their nickel set with that extra defensive back on the field.
I'll be interested to see a 3rd and an eternity now. See what the Highland offense elects to do, if they just elect to go with a rush and elect to punt the ball, or if they try to dial up any trickery, probably go deep on this play. We'll see what they do here as Herbert has it in the shotgun. He's just going to hand it off to his halfback. That's Wood. Wood's going to bounce out to the right. He has nowhere to go. He's going to get stacked up after a gain of about a couple yards, and that's going to set up 4th down. So a couple penalties setting Highland back, as well as a nice couple of defensive plays by Basha, and it's going to set up 4th down for the Hawks.
Yeah, it was a good stop there by Basha to get their offense back on the field and get things going. They should have good field position too, because their punt returner is going to be right around the. He's going to have his heels on the 40-yard line.
Back deep to return the punt for the Bears is Ty Sifferman.
Sifferman now back to the 30.
Yeah, you said 45 right off the bat, Austin. He's now pushing him back even further, all the way down near the 30.
For me personally, I thought that was a little short for a punt returner to be up that close, but now he's at a reasonable position.
So Sifferman at his own 30-yard line. 2:35 remaining in this first quarter. We're going to have a whistle. Looks like it's going to be a timeout courtesy of Highland. They're going to talk things over here on this 4th and 28.
Yeah, obviously not a situation you're going to go for it. Not quite Madden. You actually have a chance to get it on this play. But after this punt, supposed punt, this would be a very good field position for the Basha right now, and maybe they can get something going here.
For your head coach Brock Farrell, maybe just something he didn't like out of his team or out of their set on special teams. They're going to talk it over. Special teams unit's going to come back out now. Sifferman will still be back deep to return for the Bears.
Yeah, score still 7-0 here with 2:35 left in the first quarter. Been a pretty steady, fast first quarter here. Nothing too fast, nothing too slow. It's been pretty steady.
Pretty clean game thus far as well, not too many flags. What you'd expect between 2 undefeated teams going into tonight.
Highland goes to their spread punt set.
Well, Sifferman back at his own 30-yard line awaiting the punt. Here's the kick, it's up and into the air. Sifferman's going to drift out to the left side. He signals for a fair catch, and he's going to catch it at his own 25-yard line, and that's where the Basha offense will set up, and it looks like it's going to be Connor Phelan back out on the field. As I mentioned, a 2-quarterback system, or 2 quarterbacks that have been seen throughout the season for the Bears, and Phelan stays on the field for the second drive of this game. So Phelan will trot back out on the field with his offense, look to get something going and sustain a drive here on their second possession of the game.
Yeah, Phelan's been pretty good this season. He's been 41 to 60 for 565 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 2 picks. So pretty good stat line for him.
Phelan's going to hand it off to his halfback up the middle. Looks like that was Mika Harper on the handoff. He's going to push forward for a gain of a couple yards. And I'll set up second down. Pardon me, I said Harper. That was Cole Lundberg on the handoff up the middle.
One thing you don't see very often, at least from high schools back where I'm from in Indiana, the opposing band has traveled with Highland tonight.
And Highland's band performed in the pregame as well, did a very good job as Phelan now gets a high snap, hands it off up the middle, and that play's going nowhere. There's going to be a loss on the play, and it's going to set up 3rd and long. So this Highland defense has looked pretty stout thus far, getting into the backfield, making a couple of nice defensive plays, and they're going to set up a 3rd and long and now.
And one interesting fact about both this 2 quarterback system for Basha is both the quarterbacks have a 112 quarterback rating.
So some productivity from both quarterbacks, as we said, and a little bit of an interesting 2 quarterback system, and we'll get to that in just a second as Phelan's in the shotgun set. There's no one in the backfield. He's going to set up a screen for Sifferman. Sifferman's going to cut upfield. He has a couple blocks. He pushes out to the left side, evades a tackle, pushes further upfield, has a 1st down. He's all the way out to the 40, to the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds, but a nice reception after a nice setup screen pass. It's Ty Sifferman. He's going to push all the way into Highland territory.
Yeah, very nice play. I actually thought he stayed in bounds, but apparently he stepped up. But nonetheless, a very good play there by Basha.
So Sifferman with a nice reception. That's going to move the chains. The clock's going to stop under 55 seconds remaining in this 1st quarter. So they mark him out at exactly midfield. That's where Basha will have the ball. So not in Highland territory yet.
Exactly at the 50-yard line is where the ball is spotted.
So Phelan in the shotgun set. He's going to drop back, look to his right. Has a man, Sifferman, and it's incomplete just past the outstretched hands of Sifferman. That's going to set up 2nd and 10.
Just outside the arms, just outside the outstretched arms of Sifferman. We've mentioned him a lot lately, and that's pretty much because he's the jack of all trades in this team. We've seen him return punts, we've seen him punt the ball, we've seen him catch the ball, we've seen him run the ball, we've seen him do everything. Definition of the jack of all trades.
So Sifferman in the shotgun set, drops back, gets rid of it quickly out to the right side. Sifferman again, and it's high and outside. It's going to be incomplete out of the hands of his intended target.
Yeah, almost picked off there. Looks like Phelan didn't look off, or he did stare down his intended target, which was Sifferman at the time. And as a result, it was almost intercepted.
A little bit of a dangerous pass there. Sifferman did a good job just to get his hands on it, but cornerback almost jumped that one. Nonetheless, it will set up 3rd and 10 with 45 seconds remaining in this 1st quarter. Phelan in the shotgun set. He's going to drop back to pass. Rolls out to his right. He's going to go deep down the right sideline. He has Mateen, and it's incomplete, but that's going to be a PI, a pass interference, and an automatic 1st down as Mateen was just swarmed on that pass downfield and literally thrown to the ground.
Yeah, I think Mateen would have been able to catch that ball if he was still free to be able to catch it and hadn't not have been tackled on that route. But nonetheless, it's pass interference. Ball will be moved to a 1st down. Basha now in business here inside the 30-yard line.
So now refs having a little bit of a miscommunication right now with the placement of the ball.
I guess it will be back at the 35-yard line now.
It will be at the 35-yard line of Highland. So a PI allows the drive to continue for Basha. Phelan in the shotgun set. Has Lundberg to his right, 2 receivers out to his left, 2 to his right. Phelan with the ball placed on the left hash. He's going to throw it out to Mateen, and it's incomplete. That ball was high for his intended receiver. .34 seconds remaining in this 1st quarter. A 7-0 Highland lead. Their first and only score of this game was courtesy of Connor Collimore. He had a short rush inside of the Basha 5-yard line, set up the first touchdown of this game. That was earlier on in this 1st quarter. So Phelan gets his play call from the sideline. Play clock under 10. Has to get this one off quickly. Now it's under 4. Not sure if he's aware of it. Phelan looking for the snap. He does get it off, and
I thought he got it off.
Might have got off. Now there's a whistle. Looks like there's a penalty. and it's going to be picked up. As you mentioned, Austin, it looked like he got it off in time, and it's actually a timeout, so it's not a flag, not a delayed game.
I don't know what's
Didn't
going
go
on anymore.
So a timeout. So head coach Chris McDonald did notice that that play clock was rolling down, and they're going to talk it over on the sideline here with 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Here with just under 35 seconds in the first quarter, but you know, Bash has caught a few breaks over the course of this drive. They had a play for a first down. They got them out of trouble on third down, and then they got that flag on the pass interference. So they've had a couple things go their way down the stretch in the first quarter to keep things alive on this drive.
Definitely, and first quarter, as we mentioned earlier, awesome, but it's been a pretty clean game thus far. Some nice defensive plays by Highland. Offense for the Hawks looked good on their first drive. For some penalties set them back, and mentioned a couple penalties, but overall a pretty clean game thus far between two teams who are undefeated coming into this one. Oh, Phelan will break out of the timeout with this play call. There's a couple receivers out to his left, two to his right. There's a fake handoff. Now he's going to throw it out to the right side. He has his intended man. That's Zion Williams, who's wrapped up and gang tackled by a couple of white jerseys.
Now, I don't know if you saw this, Andrew, but Zion actually did fumble the ball up in the air, and he did catch it. I know it was really quick that he did it, but he fumbled the ball a little bit, but he did remain in control of the ball, and it's now, I believe, a third down, and short.
So third and short, it looks like that's going to be the last play of the first quarter as this clock winds down. And so at the end of the first quarter, it's Highland 7, Basha nothing here on the Sports 360 AZ live stream. Austin, I want to get your assessment of that first quarter. A 7-0 game, a pretty good ball game, but what were your initial interactions, thoughts just on that first quarter?
So I thought there was both teams got bailed out during both different situations. We had the pass interference here from Basha when they got bailed out of a third and long. And then for Highland, they just had that really long play down the sideline. It was a really good thrown ball by this quarterback. Early on, defense is actually playing really well. We got a very clean ball game here on this fine, beautiful Friday night here on the southeast side of the valley. But again, like we've both been mentioning over the course of the night, very highly anticipated game. Both teams are undefeated, looking to duke it out here to remain undefeated.
Definitely, and you look at these two teams, both 4-0 on the season. You ask how did they get to that point? You look at the Basha sideline, and they started week 1 with a 54-0 pounding at North Phoenix. Week 2, they came out, defeated O'Connor 17-13, picked up a 35-20 win here at home against Corona del Sol just a couple weeks ago, and then went at La Jolla Community High School and picked up a 31-13 win. So that is how the Bears have gotten to this point thus far.
Yeah, Highland quarterback Herbert, he's doing pretty well this season. He's 51-70, 728 passing yards, 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, like I mentioned earlier. Very efficient for a quarterback at this level.
So start of the second quarter, set to begin. Phelan in the shotgun set. He's going to motion a man to his left. He's going to drop back. Pressure coming. He's going to throw it, and he's going to be short for his intended receiver. It's going to set up a 4th down after that 3rd and short. So decision time now for the Bears. Not necessarily if this is in field goal range for them. Looks like Phelan's looking over to the sideline.
You're kind of in no man's land right here where if you turn the ball over, Highland still has the length of the field to go, but if you convert, then obviously you're still in business.
So 4th and short, and it looks like the Bears are indeed going to go for it. And as Austin mentioned, a little bit of no man's land here, so we'll go for it here on 4th and short. Phelan in the shotgun set. He has the snap. He's going to hand it off to Lundberg. Lundberg breaks a tackle. Now he's going to break into the open field. He's out to the 20, all the way down to the 15-yard line before he's tossed to the ground. But a first down for the Bears. That's going to move the chains and keep this drive alive.
Yeah, we have the, like I mentioned earlier, we have the coordinators for Highland in the booth right next to us, and they were not very happy with that last play.
And not very happy because they had pressure in the backfield. They had a man there to make the tackle against Lundberg, and Lundberg just did his job and was able to evade a tackle and kept the drive going. But as you mentioned, Austin, those coordinators just to our left in this booth right now were Not too happy.
Yeah, one of them actually stood up and almost threw his headset, so not too happy.
So Phelan going to hand off up the middle. He's going to hand off to Lundberg, and he's not going anywhere. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Looks like there's a fumble, and it's going to be Highland football. So a turnover on the play by Cole Lundberg. Ball was recovered by number 47, Griffin Nielsen, and now it's Highland football, and that's a turnover in the area where we don't want to have it inside the red zone, and that's going to give the ball right back to the Hawks.
Yeah, right as soon as Basha was driving down the field. They had a very nice drive, but all for none as they fumbled the ball on the 16-yard line. However, Highland does have the length of the field to go.
And a fumble call that, from our view here in the press box, didn't look like Lundberg coughed it up initially, but the Hawks came up looking like they had the football. They're all pointing the other way, and they indeed had it. Nielsen came up with a recovery, and that will now set up for Herbert. Herbert's going to hand it off to the halfback. That's Huffman. Huffman breaks up the right side. He has a first down. He's all the way down near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Highland wasted no time getting their offense out onto the field and snapping that ball very quickly. Trying to set up a little tempo here early on in the second quarter.
That was Dayton Huffman on the carry, and that's one thing you're going to see for this Highland team is a plethora of running backs who can handle the football. They have Huffman, they have number 6 Daniel Wood, and then of course number 1 Conor Colmore. So 3 halfbacks who they are comfortable with giving the ball to, as Herbert's now in the shotgun empty set. Herbert drops back, looks to his right, has a man, and it's caught by number 13, Noah Burdick, and he is near the first down marker, near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, easily broken arm tackles right there. The defensive backs not wrapping up correctly and results in a first down.
So Burdick with the reception. Looks like he's going to move the chains as Herbert gets his play call. 7-0 here in the second quarter. Highland leads this one. Herbert in the shotgun set with the ball placed on the right hash. Ball at the 40-yard line of Highland. Now Herbert's going to drop back. He's going to have a screen pass that's set up. It's going to be for Burdick, and he's going to be lit up near the 45-yard line, but there is a penalty marker down on the field, and it looks like it's going to be a hold, and that's going to set down the Hawks a little bit.
Yeah, a little laundry left on the field. It's going to bring them back about 10 yards. And we have to set up shop for a long second down.
So as Austin mentioned, a long second down now for the Hawks.
It's going to be about 2nd and 20 here coming up.
So holding on the field is what the call was. So ball, which was originally out near the 40-yard line, going to get pushed all the way back now near the 25. It's going to be at the 27-yard line of the Hawks.
Second and 23, actually.
Looks like not 2nd and 23. They're going to keep it at 1st and 23. So the first down remains. So 1st and long for the Hawks. Herbert in the shotgun set. Another whistle on the play. It's going to be some more laundry on the field. Looks like a false start. So Highland shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Right as soon as we were talking about this being a clean game, a few penalties here right off the bat to start the second quarter. It's not looking good for Highland.
You know what that is? That's the good old announcer's jinx, Austin.
Oh my gosh, what have I done?
It's a good old announcer's drink. The announcer's jinx. You mentioned it being a clean game, and then all of a sudden you see back-to-back penalties. So 1st and 28 now for the Hawks. Ball placed at their own 22-yard line. Herbert in the shotgun set with the ball placed on the right hash. He's going to drop back, has a man, and that's going to be Burdick again. Burdick evades one tackle, but is then brought down to the ground, and he gains a couple yards on the play.
Yeah, defense was in cover 2 coverage on that defensive play. And what that does is it leaves a whole bunch of guys open underneath. You play back, you don't allow anything behind you, but you do allow a lot of the short stuff in front of you, and it results in a completed pass.
So 2nd and 21 now for Highland. Ball placed at their own 29-yard line. 7-0 Hawks. They lead this one as Herbert drops back to pass. He looks to his left over the middle of the field and is almost intercepted by the safety on that play. A little bit of a miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver. Herbert just let it fly, and his receiver was looking the other way, and that one almost went right into the hands of the safety for Basha.
Yeah, Basha's safety, he fell down on that play, and he wishes he had that one back in his arms. The turf monster got him a little bit, but nonetheless, it is 3rd and 21 at the 29-yard line.
That was Nathan Lloyd who almost came up with the interception, and Basha just turned the football away. They had a chance to get the ball right back with that one, but they weren't able to convert. Nonetheless, it's 3rd and eternity for the Highland Hawks, or for the Highland Hawks, pardon me. Now a high snap. Herbert is going to pick it up, and he's going to run. He's going to be stacked up in the backfield. A nice play there by number 57. That's Chandler Kelly, and it's going to be 4th down. So after the fumble, Highland not able to do anything with it, or to capitalize on that. It's going to set up a 4th and long.
Yeah, really a bad drive for Highland. They had those 2 penalties, and then that fumbled snap right there on 3rd down creates a 4th and 25 situation. Not a good drive there by Highland.
That's something that will frustrate you as a head coach. If you're Brock Farrell, you're able to force a turnover like that, but not able to do anything with it. And as you mentioned, Austin, pick up a couple penalties and a fumble in the process. So back deep to return is Zion Williams. Here's
End over
the
end
punt.
kick.
It's an end over end kick. It's going to roll all the way down near the 23-yard line. And that's where the Basha offense will set up.
Yeah, Andrew, like I was mentioning earlier, a lot of penalties caused that drive to end in a punt like it did. Basha really needing a lot to go well for him this drive. The score is still 7-0. Nothing to panic about yet, but obviously you want to get some action going here early on.
And so we mentioned the 2-quarterback system that the Bears have had in place throughout the season. It looks like that Gabe Friend is going to step onto the field in place of Connor Phelan. So nothing too surprising, as both quarterbacks have both played this season, but Friend will now get his opportunity to lead this Basha offense.
Yeah, Friend, we've seen him over the past couple weeks, throughout the whole season, really do his job and come in near, and as he runs the ball here right up the middle and almost gets a 1st down.
Yeah, design quarterback draw for Friend. That's a nice pickup for him, and he's going to be near the sticks.
And this is a packed house on both sides of the field. We have the visitor Highland Hawks and their band playing loud and proud on the opposing sideline, and they really traveled well here tonight to Basha High School.
So Friend in the shotgun set now. No receivers in the backfield. Looks like we're going to have a flag on the plays. Looks like someone jumped into the neutral zone.
Yeah, flag on Highland. Someone jumped off sides. We'll move them up 5 yards. It'll be a nice 1st and 5.
So 1st and 5, and now for Highland, or pardon me, for Basha. Friend on the season, 18 for 32, 351 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. 2 of those touchdown passes coming just a couple weeks ago here on his home field against Corona del Sol. So Friend in the shotgun set, has 3 receivers out to his left. He's going to look that way. He has Mateen. Ball's deflected, and it was incomplete as it falls to the ground. But dangerous as that one was tipped near the line of scrimmage, and it could have been picked off.
Yeah, the flow of this game has settled from nice and steady to it seems like everyone on the field is rattled, and now there's another flag.
Another flag on the field. Not too sure what they're going to call in this one.
Sideline warning.
Penalty coming in from Basha's side.
Sideline. Penalty on the sideline for overcrowding the line. That first line there on the sideline. So first sideline penalty of the night.
And I'm a little perplexed by that call. Usually there's a warning of
usually
some
there
sort.
is a warning, but it's maybe the refs have been giving them warnings throughout the night. I don't know, but there is a penalty.
So Friend, following the flag, completes a pass over the middle, and that's going to push the ball even further forward.
And they're going to stick with Friend here. As we've seen like I mentioned, over the past couple of weeks, they're using that 2-quarterback system. 2 very good quarterbacks, too. Both have a quarterback rating of 112 and 3 touchdowns for Friend and only 1 interception.
Friend, the junior quarterback. Phelan is a senior, so two upperclassmen who have been leading this Basha offense. Here's the snap. Friend has it. He looks to his left. He's going to throw it over the top to Mateen. He has it downfield, and it's incomplete through his hands. Mateen, he had the pass right there, but it just falls through the wickets, and that's going to set up a 2nd and 10, and that's one I'm sure he wishes he had back.
Yeah, I've been in that same position as a wide receiver. It's almost too good to be true. The ball is perfect. It's coming down in your hands, and you start looking away from the ball. You start looking toward the end zone and trying to run into the end zone. That's what he did there. He started looking toward the end zone to score, and he dropped the ball.
So Mateen not able to snag that one in, but the Basha offense still in business as it's 2nd and 10. Now another quarterback draw. Friend's going to cut back upfield before he's taken down by a swarm of white jerseys. Going to set up a 3rd and 9 for Basha.
And they're going to stick with Friend here again. Highland is in their nickel set with the extra defensive back on the field.
So Friend in the shotgun set. He has Lundberg to his right, 2 receivers out that way as well, and then 2 to his left. Friend's going to drop back, look to his left. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to take off, and he's near the first down marker, and he's going to get the first down for Basha. So that keeps the drive alive, and a nice play by Gabe Friend after he had nowhere to go. Just decides to use his feet and keeps the chains moving. So we talk about this 2 quarterback system as well at Basha. It's not your traditional 2 quarterback system where you have maybe a quarterback who is able to use his legs a lot more, although Gabe Friend certainly showcasing that part of his game tonight. But not your prototypical two quarterback system where you have maybe a quarterback who can use his feet, another one who can use his arm. Both quarterbacks are capable of using either their feet or their arms. Austin and I have both seen it from Gabe Friend and from Connor Phelan, and it's really just a matter of 2 quarterbacks who have played well together when they've had the opportunity. Now here's a pass over the middle, and it's a fumble on the play. See what the refs rule it, and they're going to call it incomplete. So wasn't sure what they're going to call it initially on the field. I would agree with that incomplete pass intended for Mateo Estrada, but I don't think he gained control of that pass going up the field.
I personally think he gained control, and the reason is because he made what's called a football move. He started moving forward with the ball, but it was very close nonetheless, but the refs decided to call it incomplete.
Especially one of those things where you're down on the field as well. It's just a bang play. It's right in front of you. But nonetheless, they'll set up a 2nd and 10 for this Basha offense. Friend's going to go over the top now. He has a man. It's incomplete and laid out on the left sideline is Zion Williams.
Yeah, Zion Williams, he's down for the count on this one. He's going to be down for a little bit. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him, coming up limping a little bit, maybe cramping up at the same time. But he's going to come out, or maybe he's going to head back in. He wants to head back in.
It's interesting.
As a coach, I just want to add this one thing. As a coach, I would take him out and let him regain his bearings for at least a play or 2. But they're going to keep him in here.
And it looked like Williams was pulled by one of his coaches. Looked like he wanted to get back out on the field. One of his coaches looked like he wanted to pull him, and nonetheless, Williams stays on the field. So he'll tough this one out with a 3rd and 10 coming up. Friend's going to drop back. He's going to look over the middle of the field, and that one's almost intercepted. It's going to set up 4th down.
Yeah, a common theme that we're seeing from Friend here, he's not following through on his throws. He's leaving it up and away, which is causing all these overthrows, and which is also leading to a lot of these punts that we've seen over the course of this first half.
So both quarterbacks so far in this game for Basha, between Connor Phelan and Gabe Friend, have sustained a couple drives, been able to move the ball a little bit, but just haven't been able to have that one long drive that results in putting some points on the scoreboard, and hence why it's still 7-0 Highland here in the 2nd quarter.
I concur.
So Colmore back deep to return for the Hawks. Here's the punt. It's going to roll. Colmore's going to pick it up down near the 10-yard line. A dangerous play, but he's going to bounce out to the outside. There's a hit on the sideline. Colmore drops the head, and that was a heck of a return by Colmore after a little bit of a dangerous return, but he just dropped the shoulder on the sideline, and a heck of a return for Colmore.
Fantastic return, and I think he originally wanted to fair catch that, but I think he thought one of his players had accidentally touched it. I think he thought the ball might have hit one of his players' legs, which would result in a muffed punt, which would cause it to be a live ball for anyone to pick up. So, but nonetheless, it was a very good return by Cullimore.
And as you said, also initially it looked a little dangerous.
Yeah.
It looked a little indecisive on the play.
Absolutely.
But Cullimore making the best out of an awkward situation there, as now Herbert will have it in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle to Wood. Wood bounces to the outside, and that's a gain of about 3 on the play. So Daniel Wood on the run. On the season, he has 310 yards, or at least coming into this game, had 310 yards, was averaging nearly 14 yards a carry.
Which is absurd. I mean, this is high school, but nonetheless, 14 yards a carry? That's fantastic. Give that ball to the kid every time.
And it's one thing you'll see, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, but one thing you'll see with this Highland offense is 3 running backs that they'll use, and all 3 of them are capable of making plays. Now Herbert hands it off up the middle to Wood. Wood pushes forward, but he's going to be stopped. Looks like no gain on the play.
And their top 5 rushers on the team are all averaging 6 yards or more per carry, which to me is fantastic. You don't see that usually at the high school level, where you have 5 deep running backs averaging all over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, and going into this game, the rushing-wise, Highland has been averaging 247 yards a game. Passing yards on the season, they've been averaging 205. So gives you a little bit of the balance of the offense.
Very good all-around balance for this Highland team.
So Herbert in the shotgun set, ball placed on the left hash. He's going to hand it off up the middle to Wood. Wood breaks a couple tackles, cuts back, and he's all the way out past the 45-yard line. So a nice play by Daniel Wood, cutting back upfield, evading a couple defenders, and that's another first down for the Bears. And the clock will stop as the chains are reset with 3:48 remaining in this first half.
Yeah, as we were mentioning earlier, Daniel Wood, he has about 350 now, including this game, yards on the season, and he has 6 touchdowns to his name already, and we're only a few weeks into the season.
So the clock will now start back up as it continues to wind down. Herbert in the shotgun set. He's going to fake a handoff. Now has nowhere to go. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's just going to throw to the left side and throw it away, and he's going to roll out.
Yeah, very good pressure there by the Basha defensive line. It seems like almost all 4 of those defensive linemen broke through the line of scrimmage and were able to get a lot of pressure on Herbert.
And on that play, not too sure, the refs, looks like they're going to have discussion right now, but that ball was close of not making it to the line of scrimmage, which would mean intentional grounding. See what they call. They're still having a discussion over there, and it looks like the refs are going to pick up the flag. There was a flag on that far sideline, but they're going to pick it up.
Yeah, the criteria, for those who don't know, for an intentional grounding is the quarterback has to be outside the tackle box, which is essentially outside the left or right tackle, and the ball has to go past the line of scrimmage. And fortunately for Herbert, it completed both that criteria.
So Herbert in the shotgun set once again. He's going to throw it out to his wide out to the right side. He has a man. He's going to push up the field. Is number 17, Tanner Crandall. He has a nice gain on the play and got a nice block on the outside.
Yeah, nice little move there by the junior. Crandall does have a touchdown this season. Not one of the main targets for Highland, but he is a target. And a very nice play there by the junior.
So with that reception, I'll set up a 3rd and a 3 for the Hawks. 3:26 on the clock here in a 7-0 ball game. Highland leads this one as Herbert's in the shotgun set. He's going to motion a man to his right. Here's the snap, and it's over the head of Herbert, and it's back in the backfield, and Herbert's just going to fall on it, and that has to be frustrating as that'll now set up a 4th down for the Hawks.
Yes, not a little bit, snapped way over the head of Herbert, and that reminded me of the play in Super Bowl 48, I believe, when the Broncos and Peyton Manning, the Broncos were backed up against their own goal line, and the center snapped the ball way over Peyton Manning's head and resulted in a safety.
So after the snap that was thrown way back into the backfield, is going to set up 4th and 14. Back deep to return for Basha is Zion Williams. Here's the snap, another high snap
over the head.
And the punter picks it up.
Still a very good punt.
And this punt, after a disastrous start, ends up not being too bad for this Highland team. And quite frankly, I don't know how that ball how that play didn't turn into a complete disaster.
After a little lull in action, we got some action here. Two snaps that are going over the players' heads and make this game a little more interesting.
So 2 back-to-back, just dangerous snaps, and somehow it didn't affect the offense. I mean, it sets up the 4th down for Highland, but it could have been a lot worse,
Yes.
Especially with the second snap that was botched on the punt.
At first, I didn't think Herbert was going to be able to hop back on that because of the momentum that the linebackers had on the snap. Some of the linebackers were trying to time that snap there, and I thought one of them was going to be able to pick it up.
So now 2:25 remaining. Gabe Friend and company will look to answer back and get that goose egg off the scoreboard. Friend rolls to his right, throws the right side, but it's incomplete. Now set up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's a common theme for these two quarterbacks tonight. They're not following through on their passes. They're leaving it up and away. They're releasing high, and they're not following through, resulting in all these overthrows.
I think a little bit of that credit goes to the Highland defense as well. They've had some decent pressure tonight as well. They've really gotten to the faces of the Basha quarterbacks, and they've caused some problems in the backfield.
Yeah, not trying to take away from Highland or anything. They've been playing very sound defense. Their defensive line has stood out to me, getting a lot of pressure on Phelan and Friend tonight.
So Friend in the shotgun set, empty backfield. He's going to look to his right. It's a design quarterback draw, cuts it upfield, and he's taken down after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. So clock winds down under 2 minutes and 10 seconds as we near the 2-minute mark of this first half.
I believe Bash is going to take a timeout here. Maybe not. No, they're not. They're going to keep it. They're going to keep it a live ball. I thought they were going to take a timeout, but now they're going to move into their two-minute offense and see what they have game planned here with under 2 minutes to go.
Bash had taken a lot of time off the clock. It's now under 1:40 remaining in this first half. Friend's going to look back, has time, looks over the middle, and it's caught by his intended receiver. Ref was taken down on the play as well. He's going to be held back up by a Highland defender, but the ref goes down the field. It was a reception, and it's going to move the chains.
Yeah, the ref was bumbling and stumbling down there. He's getting a little piece of the action tonight.
On the reception was Mateo Estrada. He makes a nice reception over the middle of the field, and that keeps the drive alive, and it stops the clock for the time being.
I believe Phelan is back at quarterback, or maybe it's Friend.
Here's a throw from Friend, and he has his man. That's Ty Sifferman. Sifferman stays in bounds. The defensive backs of Highland are saying that he was out of bounds. Refs having a discussion, and they're going to call it incomplete. I'm not too sure about that one.
Heck of a catch, though, by Sifferman. He had a lot of people crowding him there on this close sideline right here, and he ran into a few people, but to me, that was a fantastic catch.
And Sifferman in tight man coverage down the left sideline. Wasn't poor coverage, but Friend put it right on the money and gave his receiver a chance to bring one down and in their own territory, but nonetheless, it comes to no avail, and now set up a 2nd and 10 with 1:19 left in this first half.
Yeah, I don't want this to go unnoticed, but Highland is playing very good defense against this highly talented Basha offense.
Here's a throw from Friend. He has Sifferman. Sifferman doesn't get out of bounds, and that's big because the clock continues to wind down. 2 timeouts left for Basha. We'll see if they elect to choose one here as the clock goes under 1 minute and 10 seconds. Set up 3rd and 5 for the Bears. Friend with the ball placed on the left hash mark. He's in an empty set, drops back, looks to his right, has a man over the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That pass intended for number 4, Andy Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson almost had a nice one-handed catch, but he couldn't hold on. Going to be another 4th down punt with under 50 seconds to go here in the first half.
Robinson did everything right on that play, found the soft spot in the defense, had a chance to make a reception, and not too sure if he stumbled going over the middle of the field or
it looked like he did stumble a little bit.
blew a little bit of a tire and just wasn't able to get two hands on it. Still almost made the reception with one hand, but now it's going to be Colomore who's back deep to receive. He's going to break one tackle. Now he has about the whole Basha team, it seems like, on him right now on the left sideline. He's still not able to be taken down, but not too much going on the play. He gains about one on the punt return, but it's going to be with the ball at the 21-yard line, under 40 seconds remaining. What do you think they're going to do here, Austin?
I think they're going to try and just take a knee here. I wouldn't risk trying to throw the ball deep, but you never know. You might be able to complete a pass over the middle or on a sideline. Preferably, ideally you would like to complete a pass on the sideline, stop the clock, get out of bounds, reset, and get another play off, or possibly call a timeout to get another play going. But I don't know. For me, I wouldn't risk it because you never know what could happen in high school football, either a pick six or a fumble with these centers tonight.
There's Herbert. He rolls out to his left. He's going to throw downfield. He has a man, and it's incomplete. Not too sure.
Sifferman very close to getting an interception on that last play. And if so, that would have put Basha in very good field position to maybe get another score, or to get a score in general.
So an incomplete pass, and Sifferman almost picked that ball off. Herbert now back in the shotgun set. He's going to set up a screen for his man, Colomore. Colomore pushes forward. Not going to get the first down with under 25 seconds now. I might just let it wind down and let this clock run out.
I don't know why they're throwing the ball. If anything, if you're going to waste the clock, at least run the ball. It would be a lot less risky than throwing the ball where you have the risk of the ball getting intercepted and you're inside your own 25-yard line throwing the ball very close to your own end zone. To me, that's not a smart move.
So nevertheless, after 2 quarters of play in this one, it's Highland 7, Basha nothing. Some first half takeaways before we head to the break here. Awesome. But overall, what did you see in this game? The only scorer of this game coming from Conor Colomore. He had a touchdown rush on the first drive of this game, but that's all we've seen thus far. But Austin, what are some of your takeaways here from this first half?
Yeah, so first quarter, very clean play by both teams. Second half, a lot of laundry on the ground, a lot of penalties. Both teams need to clean it up, and quarterback play. Quarterbacks need to throw the ball a little better in order to get things going. You can't do much if your quarterback's playing bad.
Definitely, and so with that, we're going to take a break here for this halftime segment. My name is Andrew Bell alongside Austin Burnett. Make sure to stick with us. We still have a whole second half of football left to play, so make sure to stick with us here on the Sports 360 AZ live stream.
was not. I'm in Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Basha Bear Regiment. The Basha Bear Regiment is known for entertaining performances and high-energy productions. The regiment consistently from time march at festivals and competitions throughout Arizona. We of the 2018 production Red. The Basha Bear Regiment is under the direction of Evan Quintus and Miles Day, and includes staff members Kevin Fitzsimmons, Joseph Manuel, Anthony Oliveras, Thomas Buchanan, Juan Oliveras, Elias Jimenez, Alessandro Jimenez, Mason Tanquary, AJ Randon, Alexa Lincoln, Carlos Pino, Charlie Baker, and Steven Chiba.
No, Brett, this is. No, I know.
Just set everything up. What was the morning club?
No, ask for your time. Like I know, like we're supposed to do something. I told you that. Or we don't know something. Or we need to refresh or something.
Drum majors Marissa Edwards, Christina Foltz, and Brandon Saylor. Is your band ready?
Now, I did know that he had some tire problems earlier in the day.
Basha Bear Regiment. Now please welcome future Basha Bears, As we play one of our favorites, The Land of a Thousand Dances. Now going to line, they play the Basha fight song. Please join me in welcoming your 2018 royalty winners and nominees. Freshman Lord and Lady, Grady Campbell and Aaliyah Brown. Sophomore Duke and Duchess, Kate Malloy and Sandy Del Monte. Junior Prince and Princess, Delito Sakela and Sean Francois. And now our senior nominees for homecoming King and Queen, Storm Mendoza and Riley Coleman. Storm Mendoza is a varsity football player and team captain. He plans to attend ASU in the fall. Riley Coleman is involved with KDC as vice president, captain of varsity pond and Speedo. She plans on attending the University of Oregon to become an orthodontist.
That's kind of what I said.
Colin Andrew and Riley Montoya. Colin Ambler's varsity golf and baseball team member. Additionally, he is a member of National Honor Society and a member of the Bear Gang. He plans on attending college to major in sports management. Araya Montoya is a senior class president of Studo, involved in National Honor Society's Tise Pueda, and is a wrestling manager. She plans to attend ASU in the fall to study international business. John Lee and Shannon Wayne. Joe Lee is a varsity football player, is also on track and field, intends on continuing his education after graduation in the fall. Shannon Wynn, student body vice president involved in National Honor Society, the Ace Club, plans on attending U of A to study physiology in the fall. Arja Panja and Allison Wright. Arja Panja is president of National Honor Society, member of Science is Fun, vice president of Leo Club, chief science officer, and volunteers at the Chandler Regional Medical Center. He plans to pursue a degree in biological science and to become a neurosurgeon. Allison Wright's been in Studo for 4 years. She's a member of the National Honor Society and is a Chandler Service Club flower girl. She plans to attend the University of Utah in the fall. All right, drum roll if you got it. It's my pleasure to announce this year's homecoming king and queen, Arja Panja and Shannon Wynn. Congratulations to all of our royalty and nominees. And a big thank you to Ms. Nicholson and Basha Studo.
Whatever you say.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome back into Basha High School as the Basha Bears are taking on the Highland Hawks here on this fine Friday night in the Valley of the Sun. Andrew, we got a very tight ball game, 7-0 in favor of Highland. What do you expect coming out of this coming into the second half?
I think going into the second half, obviously Basha with a goose egg on the scoreboard. I think a big point of emphasis in the locker room probably at halftime was probably getting the offense going a little bit, getting Ty Sifferman involved a little bit more, and just going back to the bread and butter, and that's really spreading the ball around the field, being more well-rounded and using both sides of their offense. I thought the rushing game was limited a little bit, and that forced them to pass the ball a lot in the first half and become one-dimensional. And I think going into the second half, that's going to be a big point of emphasis is get their main guys involved, go back to their bread and butter, and hopefully try to scrape away some points against a Highland defense who looked very good in that first half.
Yeah, not too many stats on the ground over the first half. We've seen a lot of passing, and I would say at least 75% passing by both teams. And as the kick is up, and it is away into the Phoenix Valley Knights. Have a nice touch back. It's going to be spotted at the 20-yard line. Coming out. Let's see who Basha decides to go with at quarterback to start the second half.
And that's one thing I've been impressed with tonight is Austin McNamara on the kickoffs. He has not disappointed. He's been kicking balls through the back of the end zone. He has a very strong leg for this Highland team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like they're going to send out their starter, Connor Phelan, to start.
And it looks like it will be Phelan, number 12, to start at quarterback this second half. For those who are just tuning in, Phelan is 41 of 60 for 565 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions to his name. So very solid start for Phelan over the course of these first few games of the season. Phelan hands the ball off right up the middle to Lundberg, and he gets a short gain of about 2.
And as I mentioned, Austin trying to reestablish that game on the ground. It's one of those games against a stout Highland defense where everything's not going to be pretty. You might need a couple plays where you just pound it into the ground, you only gain a few yards, but really reestablishing that run game, even if it's maybe not for a big game, I think it's going to be pivotal for them. You're not going to see a lot of long rushes, I think, from this Highland front. But like I said, just kind of those little gash plays that can open up a little more things offensively.
And it will be Phelan in the backfield. 2 receivers to his left and right. 1 running back in the backfield, and he takes the ball off, and it is just overthrown to Sifferman. It will be 3rd down and about 8.
And that time in coverage was Dayton Huffman, who is one of the halfbacks on this team for Highland. He's that time in coverage on the defensive side of the ball. Did a good job just to cut off the check down, and then Phelan tries to go over the top and tries to just throw it away, but a little too close to the sideline, and almost was an interception.
As Phelan comes out with a 1 running back set in the shotgun, drops back to pass, look over to his left, and it is almost intercepted, incomplete to Sifferman. It'll be a 4th down and about 8.
And there's Huffman again, that time in coverage, doing a good job on Sifferman, just giving him no room to breathe. Phelan hit him on time, and Huffman was just right there to sniff that one out right on top of him and forced him to throw it high, and just like that, it's a 3-and-out to start the second half.
So it will be Connor Cullimore back to receive this punt. His heels are at about the 43-yard line. And this is a short end-over-end kick out of bounds at right around the 48-yard line. Set up shop for Highland at the 48-yard line, and they're in pretty good shape to start this second half.
Definitely, I think if you're the Hawks coming out of the locker room on the road looking to secure a victory in this one, I think this is the exact start to the second half that you want. Your defense forces a 3-and-out. Your offense gets good field position near midfield, and we saw penalties really hinder them in that first half. If they're able to keep or limit those penalties, I think that's a big key for them going into the second half, and really big point of emphasis on this first drive.
Yeah, as Highland gets their drive started, it's going to be Huffman, and he's going to be stopped for a short gain, if not 0 gain.
So Huffman receiving the first handoff of this second half. Saw a little bit of Daniel Wood get some carries in that half, or in the first half, and really mixing those two backs together. We'll see what they do here in the second half.
As Highland gets ready to set up shop again. Second down and about a long 10 as Herbig drops back to pass, and he has a wide receiver screen completed on the far side, and he is dragged out of bounds, but there is a flag thrown in the secondary.
Flag in the secondary. Not too sure what the refs called on that one. But on that last play, we'll see what the penalty is. But on that last play, Noah Burdick, what really set up that play was his block on the outside, really sealing the edge for his wideout and allowing him to move upfield. But refs are having a discussion right now. We'll see what the call is. Refs have already picked up a couple of flags in this game, and it looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct. That's going to push Highland even further into Basha territory.
And looks like Herbert and company will set up shop at about the 27. 5 wide receivers set, 3 to his right, 2 to his left, looks left to right, and he finds his intended target for about a 5-yard gain over on the far sideline.
And Noah Burdick, that's his main wideout, has been for most of this game and throughout the season.
Yeah, Burdick has 12 receptions, 207 yards, and he leads the team in receptions. As Herbert gets set with a 3-receiver set to his right, none to his left, and he has a running back in the backfield with him as he throws the ball right over the middle inside the 10-yard line, right about the 9, maybe the 10.
Yeah, nice play there over the middle, just a little quick slant, and Herbert's able to find his man in the coverage, and this offense just continues to roll. Something about the first drives of halves that really gets this Highland team going. Saw it in the first half, looking to do the same thing and repeat that success here to start the second half.
Yeah, Herbert in the gun, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers to his far right, 1 running back in the backfield with him. Looks over to the left, lobs up for a fade route, and it is caught in the back of the end zone for a Highland touchdown to Burdick.
And a beautiful ball by Herbert to Burdick in the back of the end zone. That was a beautiful throw. He saw man coverage on the outside. Just gives his best receiver a chance to go up and make a play. That's exactly what he did. Just like that, it's 13-0 Highland, and a beautiful connection between the top quarterback and his receiver.
Yeah, as we await the pending point after touchdown to make it 14-0. The snap is down, the hold is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. Highland up 14-0 here with 9:45 left to go here in this third quarter. Andrew, not looking good for Basha right now.
Yeah, you know, if you're Basha, you're on that sideline, all that momentum shifts to the Highland sideline. The offense hasn't been able to get anything going really throughout this game. And if you're on sideline, you're really maybe looking for a big returner on special teams. We haven't seen it because of McNamara's leg. He's just been kicking the ball at the back of the end zone. But something, whether it's a turnover, whether it's a big play, if you're the Bears, you're looking for something. Obviously, you don't go out of your way to try and create a big play, but you're looking for something to get you going, shift that momentum back on your sideline, because right now Highland's been able to sustain a decent amount and on the road really take advantage of this Basha team. And it's really been a credit, starting with the defensive front, is their job. They've done a good job of making a couple stops, making things difficult on this Basha team, and it's allowed the offense to have timely scoring with two scores at the beginning of drives, both in the first and second half.
Yeah, you talking about Austin McNamara, the senior kicker. This guy's really tall for a kicker. He's 6'4", 168 pounds, and he's using that height and weight to boot that ball out of the back of the end zone, as he will boot this one out of the back of the end zone.
Surprise, surprise.
Ball will be on the 20-yard line to start the drive for Basha.
Surprise, surprise, McNamara boots another one out the back of the end zone. He's had a booming leg in this one so far tonight. I don't think we've had one return for the Bears, aside from punt returns, of course, but
yeah,
kickoffs.
And I don't know his stats for touchbacks this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top in the state for touchbacks this season.
So it looks like they're going to keep Phelan out there as well for the second drive of this second half for the Bears.
Yeah, Phelan in the shotgun set. 2 receivers left, 1 to his right, 1 right running back to his left as he hands it off to his running back, Lundberg, for a short gain. If actually it might be a loss on the play.
Once again, we highlight that Highland defensive front. They've done a really good job in this game, just not allowing any big runs, plugging the holes, swarming to the ball, and just making things extremely difficult to run the ball against them defensively. This Bash team's really struggled in that aspect of the game.
As Phelan is in the backfield, 1 running back to his left, 2 receivers left, 1 to his right. Drops back to pass, looking left to right. He heaves one downfield, and it is caught out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and that is caught by Harper.
And that was actually down the left sideline. That came to Mateen with the reception.
Sorry, it looked, the 6 and the 8 looked very similar from up here in the press box.
Oh no, I've had those difficulties before too, Austin, especially with the numbers. But Mateen, that time we talked about a big play, trying to get their team back in this one. That time, just a streak down the left sideline. Phelan's able to find Mateen, and that's a big play. Maybe just turn a little bit of momentum back to the Basha sideline.
Absolutely is. Phelan is in the backfield now in the shotgun set. Rolls out to his right, looks down the field, and it is just out of the outstretched arms of Tanner Sifferman.
Yeah, Sifferman that time had a step and was near the sideline. Phelan just led him a little bit too much, and now set up second down.
Yeah, 2nd and 10, ball on the 40-yard line, 14-0 in favor of the Highland Hawks with 8:55 left here to go in the 3rd quarter. Phelan in the backfield with his running back to his right. 1 receiver left, 1 tight end left, 2 receivers right. Hands the ball off to his running back, Andrew Barney, and it is fumbled, and it is now the Highland Hawks have the ball, waiting on a decision for the referee. Referee's conferring right now for the call, trying to determine if he was down, and it is a Highland Hawk ball as the Highland Hawk defense storms off the field in excitement. Another detrimental turnover for Basha.
Yeah, Basha, that's just a momentum-killing turnover if you're the Bears, and I think they got the call right on the field. Barney, he was getting pulled down. He was close, and I think he stayed on top of a defender, and it got punched out the last second. That's one of those, obviously, at the high school level, it's very tough to review, but you wish you had the replay review on that one, because that one was about as close as it gets, and really, I could say whatever I want, but at the end of the day, we're never going to know what call was, but it was very close down on the field.
Unfortunately, there is no high school review at the high school level, as Daniel Woods gets the ball, and he carries for about 6 yards out to the 46-yard line. Yeah, as I was saying, at the high school level, unless you're modern day or one of those schools, big-time schools out in LA or California or Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas, they usually don't have official reviews at the high school level like they do in college and the NFL. Herbin in the shotgun formation, 3 receivers right, hands it off to Woods up the middle, and Woods gets a push from his offensive line, and there will be many flags on the play. 1 coming in from the linesman in the backfield, 1 coming in from the back judge in the secondary. See what these calls are.
Not too sure what the call was. Wood on that last play doing a good job just keeping the feet moving, trying to churn forward, and was able to gain at least an extra yard. We'll see what the refs have to call here. It looks like it's on Basha. It's going to be a personal foul for a face mask, and as I mentioned, kept the feet churning, and Wood's able to draw a face mask penalty, and that's going to push the ball even further for this Highland team.
Another fortunate penalty going against Basha. Highland again moving the ball. Now they're into Highland territory with not 7:58 and counting to go. As Herbert turns around, flips the ball, tucks it, tries to go out and run. He's still up on the ground and takes a somersault, and that might be a late hit penalty. Another penalty going against Highland.
And we could
Or
hear,
going against Basha, rather.
and we could hear, you know, we've talked about earlier in this game, the coordinators being right next to us. We have the Highland coordinators to our left, Basha coordinators to our right. We heard the Basha coordinators after that last play.
Yeah, you heard a
yell,
little, oh, come on!
a big come on after that play. It's a little bit of an undisciplined play, and the whistle had blown. Quarterback was down. At that point, it's one of those where you just got to stay back, not go after him. Doesn't matter if you barely touch him.
They did pick up the flag.
And that is a little bit, that's a break. I mean, me personally, you know, it wasn't like it was dipped his helmet or anything in the quarterback, but just one of those as a player. When you see that quarterback go down, when you hear the whistle blow, it's got to let off 100%. Otherwise, you leave it in the hands of the refs. And as a player in any sport,
and
you never.
Quarterback, especially, you got to lay off the quarterback. As Herbert drops back to pass, looks right to left, throws the ball deep down the left sideline, and it is incomplete. If he would have caught that, that would have been inside the 3-yard line, and it would have been very good field position for Highland. But nonetheless, it is incomplete.
So that flag, or lack of a flag in that last case, turns out to be a little bit of a break for the Bears, because now instead of an automatic first down for Highland, it's now 3rd and long. You got a chance to possibly make a play, create a 4th down, and get the ball back to your offense possibly, or see what a little bit of no man's territory right now for Highland. But you got a chance to really do some damage control right now if you're this Basha defense.
Yeah, Herbert in the shotgun set, one receiver left, and he does complete it to his receiver on the left far sideline, and it's going to be close to a 1st down, but I think it's a little short.
I think it'll be short. Gonna be interesting. We talk about McNamara's big leg. I think if you're Highland right now, it's about time to use it as he steps out onto the field now. Looks like they're going to attempt a field goal, and most high school kickers might be a little bit of a long kick, but as I mentioned, McNamara's leg, he has a big one, so we'll see what he's able to do here.
Waiting the snap, and the snap is down, the kick is up, and it is a line drive kick, and it is good. About a 35-yard field goal from McNamara to put Highland up 17-0 with 6:40 left here in the 3rd quarter.
And I'd say I'm surprised by that kick. You know, a little bit of a long kick at the high school level, but McNamara, he's proven it this game that he has a monster leg, and he showcases it that time. Seen it boot it through the back of the end zone, but that time proven that he can kick it through the uprights as well. And with that, a 17-0 game, all because of a Basha turnover, a fumble after a huge reception to Camden Mateen. That's a huge momentum shift, but if you're on that Basha sideline, you got to realize, you know, you've had a couple plays, a couple turnovers. If you clean those up, you still have a chance to, you know, get back in this ballgame. Still an eternity left. Just got to get the offense moving and really dig deep right now.
Yeah, and if you're Basha's coach right now, what are you telling him?
I think it's just what I said. You know, keep your head up. Is, you know,
Despite
despite some of the mistakes that, you know, the team might have made, or some of the penalties, some of the turnovers that we've had, if you clean those up, there's still plenty of time left. You just got to dig deep in the bag right now and really see what you're made of. A little bit of a gut check time for this Basha team.
Yeah, as the McNamara kick is up, and it is, guess what? None other than a touchback. Another touchback for McNamara. Put the ball on the 20-yard line, and Basha will take over from there. We're back to Basha now. As you can see, Basha huddling there on the close sideline there as the team heads out for their offensive possession. They need to get something going right now. I mean, you're not in complete panic mode, but say the panic button's right here. Your hand's hovering over it. It's not quite pressed, but your hand's over it right now. If you don't get something going right here, you're in panic mode.
Looks like Gabe Friend just took the field as well, so that 2-quarterback system back in place.
Has a nice completion, and yet another flag is thrown on the play. A lot of flags thrown from the 2nd quarter up until this point right now, especially here in the 2nd half.
And I think on that one, ref's going to have another discussion. It's like maybe a hit to the head or a holding, pardon me. Not sure, over the middle of the field.
I'm not sure what the call was there. Yeah, it looks like it is a hold on the offense there. It'll back him up 10 yards from the original spot on the first down. So it will be first and about a long 20. Maybe it's the spot from the goal line, actually. So it's going to be actually a 5-yard penalty. Unknown reasons, but. As we await Basha's offense, we have Gabe Friend at quarterback now for the Basha Bears. Friend with a 1 running back to his left, 2 wide receivers left and right as he looks left to right. Can't find anyone running to his right, looks deep down the field, and yet another overthrown pass by these quarterbacks tonight. And as I mentioned, to me, if I'm a quarterback coach, you got to teach these guys to follow through on their passes. This is something that can be fixed in practice. This is just something that you need to work on more, and it's not something that isn't fixable. It's completely fixable. You just got to keep working on it more, and it'll come with repetition.
And Friend, you know, we've seen him just a couple weeks ago against Corona del Sol, had a couple touchdown passes. This is a different type of defense he's playing tonight as well. That time got flushed out of the pocket a little bit, and just the amount of different defensive looks that have been thrown forward by Highland, I think, has really benefited him as there's more pressure in the backfield.
Gabe Friend taking off for a scramble, and he takes a hit, and he is gang tackled back at the 16-yard line by a swarm of Highland Hawks.
And that time in on the play once again, Dayton Huffman up on the tackle. And I mentioned his coverage that was very good earlier in the second half. That time comes up on the play. Quarterback scrambles the outside. He steps up and makes a hit on the quarterback. So he's just been doing it both in the secondary and then up now making a couple tackles.
If you're Highland, if you get a stop right here, you're in good shape. But if you're Basha, you need this long 3rd and 11. As Gabe Friend is in the backfield with 1 flanker to his right, 1 running back left. As he scrolls out, tries to find a receiver, and it is incomplete. And it's going to be a 4th down and 11 with 5:10 left here in the 3rd quarter.
So a 3 and out, exactly what you don't want if you're this Basha Bears offense right now. That time, Friend doing a good job, buying some time, rolling to the outside. He had his intended man, that was Ty Sifferman, and just wasn't able to reel in the catch, and that's going to set up a 4th down.
Yeah, we have Collimore back to receive the punt, and it is a short end-over-end kick. Another bad break for Basha, and that ball is going to be inside Basha territory on the 46-yard line. And Highland's going to be taken over inside Basha territory. Not what you're looking for to try to get back in this ball game.
And you know, you talk about the Basha sideline trying to flip momentum back in your favor. If you're on that Highland sideline right now, big point of emphasis of your head coach Brock Farrell is you could possibly not end this game right now, but you can certainly kill the will of the other team with a score here. Put a little bit of a nail in the coffin, try to hammer one in here, and there's a big drive right now if you're a team looking to put a team away.
There's a flag on the play as Herbert scrolls out to his right. Can't find anyone. Bass out of bounds. Looks like there's going to be a holding on Highland. That'll back him up 10 yards. It's going to be 1st down and about 20.
Yeah, and that's something if you're just starting the drive with good field position, something you don't want if you're this Highland team as a whole to start the drive. We saw earlier in the game when they caught a break on a fumble that the defense forced. After that, immediately there was a flag and a couple of botched snaps. Those are mistakes like that you really have to limit, especially in a situation like this where you're trying to close out a game now in the latter stage of this 3rd quarter and heading into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Basha getting a break there here in the late going of the 3rd quarter. As Herbert has 1 receiver to his right, 1 running back right, 2 receivers to his left. Hands the ball up the middle to Wood. Actually, that'll be Cullimore up the middle for about a nice 5-yard gain to the 47-yard line. It's going to be about a 2nd down and 18.
And a nice run that time by Collimore. His big boys up front creating a nice hole for him, just cutting it up the middle of the field, having another cutback, and just a nice little chunk play right there as his offense tries to earn some yardage back after that holding penalty.
Yeah, Collimore up the middle there. It's going to be 2nd and 17 on the 47-yard line. 4:18 and counting here to go in the third quarter as Herbert drops back the pass. Empty set right down the middle, and it is caught to Lester down to the 30-yard line. Basha not containing the Highland offense. However, there is a penalty on Basha. It's going to be an offsides, I believe, on the Basha Bears. Basha, a couple sequences of flags and allowed a big gain. They're really kicking themselves in the foot right here.
Yeah, that Kyle Hester over the middle of the field having a nice reception. A throw right on the money by Herbert. He put that right where his receiver could make a play and turn upfield. So that was a beautiful throw, and then just add more yardage onto that one after a big reception, and the Hawks are driving right now.
Yeah, nice little skinny post right over the middle, over the seam, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line inside Basha territory. 4:04 left to go, 17-0 in favor of Highland. It's going to be handed off right up the middle to Hoffman, and he's going to get nowhere, and another flag comes in from the linesman in the secondary.
Another flag on the play. Nice tackle that time by Sifferman to shed a tackle and then come up and make the tackle on Huffman. But we'll see what they have to call this time as this referee corps gets together and has a discussion about what they saw on the play.
Yeah, this is a very significant flag. If this is against Basha, this is going to put them inside the 20-yard line. And it will be on Highland. Back them up 10 yards, it looks like.
Oh, a hold on Highland on that.
Hold or a block in the back. That'll send them back 10 yards, and it's going to be about a... First and 23 from the 37-yard line. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. As Herbert is in the pistol formation, 2 receivers right and left. Looks right to left, wide receiver screen to his left, and he completes it to his receiver for a nice 8-yard gain out to right around the 36-yard line.
That time setting up a nice little screen play on the left side of the field. A nice play and a reception by Zach Gaston, who just turned upfield and was able to get a nice block from his counterpart, set up a nice play.
Yeah, Herbert's going to come out with the 3 receivers set to his right, 1 to his left, 1 running back to his left. Highland with white uniforms, Basha with their black unis, as Herbert fakes the handoff right up the middle, scrambles to his left, and he gets out of a couple tackles, looking downfield, and he does not complete the pass. It will be incomplete for a 3rd down and 17 coming up on the 31-yard line.
Yeah, Herbert pulling out his best Johnny football impression right there, rolling out of the back, throwing it back to the Texas A&M days, if you understand that reference.
Huge Johnny football fan for me.
Johnny Manziel, old Texas A&M reference, but rolling out of the pocket, looking for somewhere back, just no one was able to come back to the ball and decided just throw it at the feet of his receivers. Just live for a better day.
Yeah, I was a huge Johnny Manziel fan for the things that he did on the field during his time at Texas A&M, as Herbert scrolls out the pass, looks deep down the field into the end zone, and it is incomplete. It's going to be a 4th down and 17 from the 31-yard line. You might want to send McNamara back out for another field goal because he sure does have the leg for it.
See what they do here. A little bit of no man's land. Looks like they're going to put on McNamara for another deep field goal.
Actually, yep, they're going to put them on for another field goal. I wouldn't be surprised if they faked it either, because they're in no man's land right now. Try and catch Basha off guard, as Basha is sending all 11 of their guys to try and block this kick, to try and get some momentum going. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. Actually, they're calling it no good. And they're calling it wide right, actually. interesting because that looks good from our angle up here in the press box. Yeah, as the play-by-play announcer to our right, we were both thinking it was good. It looked good to us.
Yeah,
but
right.
Apparently it is no good.
Yeah, right next to us here on the broadcast booth, we have the Highland play-by-play team, and they thought that one was good as well, and it fooled both of us. It definitely had the leg on the play, but just a little wide right. But McNamara.
If it was right, if it was right, it must have been just barely right because that looked good from here.
I agree. I mean, right off the bat, I'm glad I wasn't on the call because I thought it was good as well. But yeah, it fooled both of us. Nonetheless, it remains a 17-0 game. So our apologies just on that last call. That looked good from our angle.
It did, as Gabe Friend is now in the shotgun set, hands it off to his running back up the middle. And he is still free. He cuts back up the middle to his right and finally wrestled down. Looks like he might have lost a couple yards.
That was Barney on the rush that time.
Yeah, using a couple different running backs here in the second half, and it's going to be a 2nd and 9, so there was a gain of 1 yard.
And not sure if anything happened to Cole Lumberg, or can't speculate too much because we don't have an update down from the field, but we haven't seen much of him at all in the second half. It's been mostly Barney with the majority of the reps. So
yeah.
Not too sure what happened. We can't speculate too much, but he hasn't been taking reps here in the second half. It's been Barney for the most part.
Yeah, Friend in the backfield now, looks left to right, looks for his receiver, looks for Sifferman. He cannot find his intended target. It's going to be a 3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line. Basha needs to get something going here if they want to have a chance of making a late run at this thing.
I tell you what, Austin, I've been very impressed with this Highland defense. But the defensive line up front, getting in the backfield, the secondary being able to make tackles and defend in the secondary. They've just been very stout all night, and they've been a pain to deal with for this Basha team. But they've just been very well disciplined. They've impressed me with the way they've been able to tackle, and overall just putting forth a very good performance right now.
Yeah, I would agree. As Friend gets ready to line up in the pistol set, 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Drops back to pass, can't find anyone. He is scrambling back, and he will be tackled for a sack in the backfield. As we just mentioned, that defensive line for Highland getting a lot of pressure on Gabe Friend. It looks like the punt team's going to come on for this one and punt it away to Connor Coleman.
And when you just think about the field position game in this second half, it's been all on the Highland side of the field. They've all been pointing towards that end zone. This Basha team yet to get the ball, or they got to pass the 50-yard line one time, and the next play resulted in a fumble. So when you're playing the game of field position, and as this game winds down, the field has really been tilted in favor of Highland.
As the punter gets the ball and he punts it away, very short punt, end-over-end roll here, as it does roll into Highland territory right around the 38-yard line. I think they'll mark it at the 39. No, they will mark it at the 38. And Highland will take over with 55 seconds left here in the third quarter, 17-0 in favor of Highland.
And a pretty good roll there for the Highland Hawk, or pardon me, for the Basha Bears. A pretty nice roll as that one rolled inside of the 40-yard line. But with that, looks like the offensive company is going to come back out most likely for the end of this third quarter. I imagine try to just run this one down and head to the fourth.
It looks like they're going to actually run a few plays as Herbert is set up in the backfield. 2 receivers right and left. Herbert takes the ball right up the middle for a quarterback draw. He slides down for about a 7-yard gain. It's going to be about a 2nd and 3 with under 45 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Herbert, we haven't seen him use his legs too often in this game, but that time a little bit of read option, pulls it back, and then just runs it up the middle of the field. A nice run there by the veteran quarterback.
Herbert sets up again. 1 receiver right, 1 tight end right, 1 running back right. 2 receivers left in the shotgun formation. Fakes the play. Play action, looks left to right. Heaves it way downfield. A beautiful pass. Incomplete, but man, that ball had a lot of mustard on it.
Yeah, I think Herbert was just trying to show off his arm a little bit there.
And indeed he did.
That time has, 3 black jerseys in the area. He's going to go up. He believes that his wide receiver, Noah Burdick, can catch anything. He sees 3 3 black jerseys back. They said my guy can still go and get it. Gives him a shot. I mean, he threw that right where he's supposed to. It wasn't like he underthrew him by any means. Just threw it over the top a little bit too much. And now he'll set up a 3rd and short for this Highland offense.
Herbert sets up again. And the shotgun set with 2 receivers left, 1 running back left, 1 receiver right, 1 tight end right, as he hands it off to Daniel Wood up the middle, and he breaks a few tackles and gets a nice first down run to right around the 43-yard line into Basha territory.
And a really nice run by Wood. That time he can thank the big men up front for that one as well. They created a huge hole for him to cut back and get into the next level, and I think that's a credit to this Highland defense, and then to the offensive line as well, because this Bash defense has been out a lot in the second half out in the field.
And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. Your score at the end of 3, Highland 17, Basha 0. Andrew, what do you think Basha needs to do schematically to try to get something going here on offense?
I think schematically, I think the offense right now, receivers are having a hard time finding separation. And I think if you're Basha, maybe try to set up a couple short passes, set up a couple screen passes, anything like that, because trying to go downfield right now is going to prove to be a difficult task. Right now, the Highland defense not really worried about anything deep. They've just been up on the play, and they've been very tough to go up against right now. So I think if you're Basha, I mentioned at the beginning of the half trying to establish the run game. That hasn't worked out too well. We haven't seen Cole Lundberg, as I said, but I think maybe trying to establish a couple short passes, screen passes, something of that nature. But right now they have to act quickly. If anything, it starts first on the defensive end, trying to stop this Highland offense. Then the offense can give it a shot. But right now it all starts on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Cole Lundberg, a big part of this offense. He has 445 yards and 5 touchdowns to his name. Huge part of this Basha offense. But now for the Highland side, it seems like they can't do anything wrong other than commit penalties.
Yeah, and if the score stays as it is, or if Highland's able to pull away with this one, I think a big staple of this game and something that's going to be talked about, at least on that Highland sideline when they go into the film room, on both sides when they go into the film room on Monday, is the 3rd quarter, because Highland really controlled this 3rd quarter, really came out and asserted their dominance. That's not to say that Basha can't pull a comeback here in the 4th, but here in this 3rd, Highland really established themselves both offensively and defensively, just took full advantage in that
Right.
3rd quarter.
Yeah, you're starting to get into a little bit of a panic mode now. You're 12 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, down 17. They got to get a stop, and they got to get the ball back as Justin Herbert is in the gun. 1 receiver left, a running back to his left, and 2 receivers to his left, and he flits it out to his running back, Huffman, who's out of bounds right about the 34. Very close to the first down marker. They might ask for a measurement here. Let's see what they decide to do. And waiting for the signal from the linesman. And looks like the referee will signal for a first down for the Highland Hawks.
And Herbert's going to step off the field. Looks like we might see Collimore go out of the Wildcat set, which is what we saw in the first score of this game. Collimore with a touchdown run down near the 5-yard line, and he's going to step back out in the field now. Looks like he's going to take a direct snap.
Connor Coleman, and that offense waits for the call. Herbert, and the ref stops play again. Looks like there's going to be a timeout for Highland.
Pardon me, Herbert did run off the sideline first, then came back out. And it looks like a little bit of miscommunication. They're just going to talk it over on the sideline right now. Herbert was having a discussion with Collimore about maybe that communication right there. But, you know, 4th quarter in this game, and if you want any chance to come back in this game right now, if you're Basha, I think the biggest key for them is they got to come up with some turnover, come up with some stop, some way to just limit this Highland offense, because if there's any more points on the board, it's already a tall task, but you're looking at a very tall task if they're not able to force turnover or anything like that just in these next coming plays and this coming drive.
Yeah, for Chris McDonald, the head coach of this Basha team, you got to get some kind of motivation going in this defense right now because they've just been torched, which what seems like the entire game. As both teams head back out onto the field, Herbert will be in the gun with Cullimore to his right. 2 receivers right, 1 to his left. He has a tight end left as well. Herbert awaits the snap, gets the snap, hands it off to Cullimore right up the middle, and it will be a short gain of about 2.
And I imagine now with the fourth quarter looming in and going into the latter stages of the second half, imagine you're just going to see a lot more of that with Cullimore and with Wood, with those 3 running backs that the team's able to use. They're probably just going to look to dwindle that clock down, rely on their halfbacks, keep on running the ball up the middle of the field and making sure they don't get out of bounds.
Absolutely, as Herbert is in the gun, 1 running back to his right, 3 receivers to his right, and he hands off to Cullimore right up the middle, and he is down right around the first down marker. Looks like he did get that first down right around the 22-yard line. Highland moving the ball pretty well here.
Yep, Cullimore and his offensive line just getting the job done right now. The big guys up front have done a great job of creating holes for their halfbacks. Another big seam on the left side, and Cullimore's able to cut back up the field, and offense is rolling right now.
And Herbert is in the pistol formation, looks right to left, throws back over to his right, and there is a flag on the field. However, the pass is completed for a short gain. We'll see what the call is.
A lot of penalties in the second half as well. That third quarter is one thing we failed to mention. A lot more laundry out on the field, and game getting a little sloppier as this one wears on. And it's going to be a hold.
It's gonna be a holding on Highland. That'll move him back a little bit. A huge break for Basha as Highland and Justin Herbert is the Oregon quarterback. Herbert now the quarterback for Highland. And that offense will be set back a few yards. Yeah, and Basha really needed a much-needed penalty to try and get something going.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, you know, it's 17-0 on the scoreboard now. It doesn't matter what time of the game it is, but especially in the fourth quarter, penalties are something you never like to see. If you're a head coach, just keeping that discipline is going to be a big key.
As Herbert heaves it downfield, and it is just outside his intended target, incomplete, and it will be a second down and 22 from the 34-yard line. 10-17 left here in the fourth quarter, 17-0 in favor of the Highland Hawks.
And so the last couple of plays tilting in favor of Basha. First they had the penalty that sets back Highland. Now it's all second and long. You got to imagine on second and long, play cards right, just move the ball forward a little bit more, give your field goal kicker, who we've seen has a very big leg, maybe give him a shot, put it up 20-0. That's a 3-score game, and just continue to pile on points.
Yeah, Herbert in the pistol formation looks right to left. He does find his intended target right around the 23-yard line. It's going to be Noah Burdick on the right sideline there.
And it was actually Cody Zimmerman on the reception, but that does the job by Herbert. That does the job, as I just mentioned, trying to get back in field goal range. Herbert does the job there. Now they're more in range for their kicker, and more than that, it makes it a little bit more manageable in a 3rd and 12 situation.
Yeah, Herbert scrolls out to his left, has 3 receivers to his left, looking, can't find anybody. Might scramble here. He's looking right to left. He will scramble to his right. Oh, and he tries to hurdle a defender, still on his feet, down to the 14-yard line. He tried to pull a Manny Wilkins there. Not as effective as Manny, but he still gets the yardage for a much-needed gain for Highland. It will be 4th down and about a long 2 here coming up.
Yeah, and if you're Brock Farrell, the head coach, you know you like the heart of your senior quarterback, but at the same time, in a 17-0 game in the 4th quarter, trying to cut back up field, you're already in field goal range. That's a little bit of a risky play, to say the least. Tried to go for the hurdle, too. It would have been a Sports Center-worthy play if he was able to cut that back up field. But look like the offense is going to stay on the field as well on 4th and 2.
Yeah, Herbert in the gun. 3 receivers right, 1 to his left. And looks like there's going to be another timeout called by
I believe that'll be a Highland timeout. They were going to let the play clock was down under 5 on that one. It looks like they were just trying to draw a hard count and see if they could draw Basha off sides, but the defense stays disciplined, and now they'll send out McNamara to try to tack on the extra 3 points. But getting back to that Herbert play, that was, like I said, a 17-0 game. A little bit of risky time, and as you mentioned, a Manny Wilkins type play. For those of you who aren't ASU football fans, Manny Wilkins, quarterback of the Sun Devils, that's his signature move right there, the hurdle over the defender. Herbert tried to replicate that to no avail, but he gets the style points.
And for those who are unfamiliar with Manny Wilkins, search Manny Wilkins hurdle on YouTube and see what plays come up. It's not like he's done this once or twice. He's done this about 5 times in games. So as they send in McNamara for about a 32-yard field goal. The snap is down, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. That'll make it a 20-0 lead in favor of Highland with 8:36 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, if you're a Highland, obviously you want to go all the way down the field, try to put the nail in the coffin in this game, but adding 3 points on the board is a really big part of this game, making it a 20-0 game. And just a good drive. Of course, there's a couple penalties, a couple things that set them back, but overall, just putting 3 points on the board is huge for them, and they're going to look to wind this clock down against a Basha offense that has struggled all night.
Yeah, Basha is officially in panic mode now with under 9 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. We're going to have 2 men back to receive this kick, if they even have a chance to receive it, because as we know, McNamara, every kickoff he's had has been a touchback, so we'll see what happens here on this kickoff here. Yeah, if you're a friend or if you're feeling right now, clutch mode needs to be activated ASAP, or if they don't get anything going on this upcoming drive, you might as well call it a night. McNamara tees up the ball, getting ready to kick this one off into the Phoenix Knight. And he does kick it off, and is an end-over-end kick. This one has a chance, and it is fielded, but apparently he did not touch it. It's going to be a touchback. If that was college football, that would have been a live ball because he did touch the ball. If you touch a ball on a kickoff in college football, that's a live ball, but rules are different here in high school in Arizona. So it was a touchback, and the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line as Phelan comes back onto the field to try and lead a touchdown or some type of productive score on this upcoming drive. Basha needs points now if they want a chance of coming back. As Phelan rolls out to his left, tries to find his receiver, and he does find Mateen here on the close sideline. Be about a second and short, maybe second and a long 4 here coming up from the Basha Bears. Phelan's going to be in the shotgun set. 2 receivers right, two to his left. 1 running back in the backfield. Phelan gets the snap, looks back to pass. He does deliver over to Sifferman on the right side here, down to the 35-yard line. Clock still rolling inside 8.5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
I don't know if you're the Basha offense now, to state the obvious. Down 3 scores, you got to go. Try and score quickly, maybe get a couple onside. Austin, you and I have seen crazier things happen.
Yes,
so
we have.
got to keep the offense moving. There's never say die attitude, especially here in this 4th quarter.
Phelan in the pistol. 2 receivers right and left. Hands it up the middle to Lundberg, and he gets nothing. In fact, he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Clock still rolling with under 8:10 to go here in the 4th quarter. So, Phelan, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers to his right, 1 running back to his right. Tries to hard count, nothing doing, gets the snap, drops back to pass, double pump, and he is scrambling, and he will get at least a gain of 1. Not quite a sack, but he will lean forward for a gain of about 1 or 2. Clock still rolling. You might consider having to take a timeout or 2 on this drive if you want a chance of getting multiple scores, but you might have to try and throw some balls down the field if you want a chance of getting this one. Nonetheless, Phelan in the gun, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers to his right, gets the snap, drops back to pass, fires over to the right side, 2 Stifferman, breaks the tackle, runs back over the middle, and he will get past the 50-yard line, and he gets down to about the 38-yard line into Highland territory.
Yeah, and Sifferman, you know, he's had a tough task tonight against a very stout secondary for this Highland team. At that time, he finds just a little bit of space, is able to get into the open field, and you're able to see what he can do when he's in the open field and he's able to make a couple plays.
Yeah, absolutely. As the clock keeps rolling here, under 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, 20-0 in favor of Highland. Phelan in the gun, 1 receiver to his right, 1 tight end right, 2 to his left. Drops back to pass, rolls over to his left. Can't find anyone, still having trouble, and he will get sacked, and the ball is loose, and they will call it incomplete. They're going to say he was in the throwing motion, and Phelan is down on the ground. He got hit really hard there on that last play as the trainers run over to tend to him.
Yeah, Phelan had pressure in his face, and that's one of those situations. He sustained a big blow. You don't know what happened with his hand as well, anything like that, hitting it on the helmet of an opposing defender, that can always hurt. But right now, he's down the field and in some obvious discomfort and pain. That was a brutal collision and a brutal hit that he took.
This would be a significant loss for this Basha team. Now they do have Friend to go to. He, as we have mentioned throughout the course of the night, has been getting a lot of reps, but still, it'll be rough to have your senior starting quarterback go down in a game like this.
Definitely, and right now, on both sidelines, both players taking a knee, hoping, obviously, that Phelan is okay in this game.
Both teams are on a knee. Trainer still tending to him. He was moving his legs, so it doesn't look like anything super serious, but as he does sit up now, it looks like it might be a head injury.
And I mean, it was a big collision, and on that play, it was just a big collision, and you hope he's okay. You know, with the concussion protocols that they have now at the high school level, it's so focused on. We sure hope he's all right, because that was a big hit, something you never like to see. It's obviously a part of the game, but for a senior quarterback going through a senior season and off to an undefeated start thus far, you got to imagine that's a great start for Phelan, and we just hope he's all right and be able to play throughout the rest of the season. It looks like he's holding his right arm that he's tending to, and his shoulder.
Hope everything's okay with Phelan, but now it'll make room for Gabe Friend to come in and try and get some action going for the Basha Bears. Try and get some sort of productivity and maybe get a score here late here in the fourth quarter. Gabe Friend, number 16, I believe he's a junior, with 2 receivers right, 2 to his left, 1 running back to his left, gets a snap, looks over to his left, fires, and it is tipped by a defender and incomplete, almost intercepted by Highland.
Yeah, that one intended for Mateen, but the pass was way behind him, and lucky for Gabe Friend, that ball wasn't picked off, because that was way behind the intended receiver, and that could easily have been an interception.
As Gabe Friend trots back to the huddle after getting a play call from his coach. Friend will set up in the pistol formation. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Friend drops back to pass, scrambled, and he is brought down by Highland in the backfield. Another sack by this Hawk defense.
And that time, Cooper Brown with the big hit, comes up the middle, just able to get around the offensive front of Basha and just toss his friend to the ground. And now he's coming up, and he doesn't look too good right now either, coming up with a little bit of a limp after that last sack. But this Highland defense has really asserted themselves in the second half. They've been a force to be reckoned with right now. Basha's having trouble just moving the ball any little bit on this drive.
Yeah, and this game that was supposed to be very close between two undefeated teams has turned into a shutout here as the whistle blows, and it will be a delay of game against the Basha Bears. Move them back even more. Yeah, it was supposed to be a pooch punt by a quarterback, and this may be. Yep, they're going to send out the actual punter this time, but we've seen that with Arizona State too. You know, we've seen Manny Wilkins pooch punt a couple of balls that, you know, you're not exactly in field goal range, but you don't want to go for it. You might be in a 4th and 8 situation on, say, your 46-yard line, and you don't want to go for it because that'll put the opposing team in really good field position, but you want to give them the length of the field to go. So now as Basha waits to punt the ball, and it is up and away, end-over-end kick up here in Phoenix, and it is touched down inside the 20-yard line, and like I said earlier, it'll give Highland the length of the field to go with 5:38 left here in the 4th quarter. 20-0 is your score. Highland up 20-0.
Yeah, and if you're Highland right now, 5:38, you look at that scoreboard, you're up 20-0. Your defense has done a great job. Probably thinking give them a little bit of a rest. Rely on the halfbacks, rely on the running game. Just ice this game away here in the latter stages of this 4th quarter because, like I said, that defense has done a great job. You want to reward them, give them a little bit of extra rest, and imagine they'll just be looking to hand the ball off here and put this one away.
As Highland gets ready to take over the ball, Herbert in the backfield, hands off to his running back for little to no gain on the play.
And while we have a moment here later in this 4th quarter and game's starting to get a little bit out of reach, we just wanted to send a thank you tonight here from the Sports 360 AZ live stream, but to the Basha High School, the production crew, student production crew. They've done a great job all season. They had us a couple weeks ago. They had us again tonight. But we want to wish them a huge thank you because they've done a fantastic job and been so accommodating and great with us. So while we have a moment, I thought I'd just slip that in there because they've done a great job this evening and deserve all the credit.
Yeah, and they do deserve all the credit. Basha does a fantastic job with the production of this broadcast, and we're very fortunate to have the production team that they have as Herbert hands the ball off to Cullimore, and he will get a first down out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 4:45 left here in the 4th quarter as we start to wind things down. You know, as this game starts to come to an end, Andrew, Highland's just done so many things right, excluding penalties. Put that out of the conversation. Offense or defense, they've just done everything right.
Yeah, you take away, and obviously, you know, penalties, flags, turnovers, those are things you want to eliminate. They've had a couple though, so it hasn't been a 100% perfect game. There's definitely things to improve on, but overall just a very good performance in an undefeated game, in a game between two undefeated teams as Colomar just continues to tack on the yardage and is into Basha territory. But, you know, they've come forward tonight. They come into an undefeated game on the road, and they've just done a very good job on both sides of the ball, as you said, offensively, defensively. They're the team that has earned the win in this game, and they're just going to look to ice this one away now.
So, as we move on with under 4:30 to go, Herbert in the backfield with one running back to his right, and he does hand off to Huffman, and he gets maybe a yard.
And so, you know, you look with the clock winding down this one, you look at what's up next for these teams. For Highland, up next, they play Mountain Point at home. That's always a tall task, a Mountain Point team.
Very good Mountain Point team.
In recent years has gone to state title games. They've had a very solid program for some time now, so that's definitely a daunting task if you're Highland. Looking on the other side for Basha, they have, take a look at their schedule here.
But as Andrew looks, Herbert will be in the gun with one running back to his left, three receivers to his left as he hands off to Huffman right off the middle, and he will get about 5 yards, and it will set up a 3rd and about 4.
And up next for these Basha Bears, they're at Red Mountain. That's next on the schedule for them. And you know, the Bears have had a little bit of a rough night tonight, but you look up at the schedule, you're still 4-1 on the season, so a lot of football left to play. They've already surpassed their win total from last season. Chris McDonald has this team trending in the right direction. I think if this is one of those games you learn from, get better from Monday, and you just move forward to and wipe it away come next week, and especially come next Friday against Red Mountain.
As Huffman gains about a 1 yard on the play. You know, and I would agree, you know, head coach has done a fantastic job of transforming this team around. It's kind of like the Sean McVay effect. You know, the Rams they were a mediocre team for the longest time under Fisher, but Sean McVay was that spark that they needed to turn that team around. And you look at this team, and they go from one of the worst in Arizona to one of the best high school teams in Arizona.
Definitely. And so getting back to the game, aside from, you know, just looking at next week and things like that, you know, 4th and 2 situation right now. There's 5 seconds winding down on the play clock. The Hawks are just going to let it wind down to 1, then they call timeout. So 4th and 2 here. There's 2:05 remaining in the game, or actually going to take a delayed game penalty, and looks like they might just punt this one away and set up the defense. But 2:05 remaining. This one just about over. I was going to be interested to see on that 4th and 2 if they try to go for it, because if they do go for it, they put the game away completely. But that answers our question, right? Looks like they're
that's a
going to
very
punting
classy move by Highland to take the delay game and to not even get in any position to where they might score again. This is a very classy move by the Highland Hawks.
Well, on a 20-0 game, game's out of reach now. Looks like McNamara back deep to punt for the Hawks. Sifferman will be back deep to return, see if he can pin the Bears in their own territory. It's the punt by McNamara. And that is a thing of beauty all the way down inside the 5-yard line, down all the way to the 1-yard line. And if you're McNamara, that's absolutely beautiful. There's a flag on the play back by the punting team. Looks like there was a couple extracurriculars between Basha and Highland, maybe some frustration seeping over from the Bears sideline, but some extracurriculars. Is a flag on the play. Refs are having a discussion right now. See what they call here.
Yeah, Basha, this is their last chance to try and get any sort of points. Unfortunately, they do have the length of the field to go, but, you know, anything's possible. And I think anything less, if you could try and get some form of points in this drive, that would be a success in its own.
Definitely, especially, you know, see that goose egg on the scoreboard. You never want to have that on your home field. But getting back to that penalty, I mentioned those extracurriculars. There was 2 offsetting personal fouls. That was just some extracurricular stuff after the play with that 1:53 left in this game. And as you mentioned, you got to go 99 yards with 1:53 remaining. That's a tall task, but see if the offense do anything to at least get that 0 off the scoreboard.
As Phelan drops back to pass, and he throws over to Sifferman. He will get a gain of about 6 over to the 7-yard line. Under 1:40 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Clock is moving. Phelan will have a shotgun set. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. In the pistol. Awaiting the snap. He does get the snap. Hands it off to his running back. And the refs are charging in for a possible fumble. And does Highland have it again? And they do have the ball. Nothing going right here for Basha. The punch. This is an exclamation mark put on a dominating performance here by Highland with 1:18 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Your score is 20-0 in favor of Highland, and Highland is in business once again.
Yep, they're in business. I imagine Up 20-0, 118 left. There's just one timeout left on the Highland sideline. Basha has all three of their timeouts, but I'm interested to see what they do here. You know, you could go in for the end zone. That's one thing to do. I imagine if you're Highland, they might just look to get in victory formation right now, put this one away. If you're head coach Brock Farrell. So it looks like that's what they're going to do. Just take a knee, get ready for this one to wind away. Basha has 3 timeouts remaining. I don't think they're going to take any of those, and that clock's just going to seep down to 0 with under 1:10 remaining in this ball game.
And as it gets under 1 minute left to go in the ball game, Andrew, what are some of your takeaways?
And, you know, final takeaways from this one. I was really impressed with this Highland football team tonight. Like I said, nothing to take away from Basha. I still think there's a full football season left. You know, not their best performance, obviously, but I think a big testament to that is to Highland because they really came out today. The defense was impressive, tackling-wise, secondary, all the way around. Really a well-rounded performance. The offense did what they needed to do at the right time. I thought a statement drive was that first drive of the game, and the touchdown by Connor Collimore on the first drive of the game, and then coming out in the third quarter. Like I said, when this game is looked back upon, it will be that third quarter that was the turning point. Coming out of the locker room, Highland was just fantastic. Really, they owned the quarter, completely tilted the field in their favor, and they're going to jog out of here right now with the win as the clock goes under 10 seconds, and they'll shake hands with the Bears. But I think it's just a big win for Highland. If you're on that Basha sideline, like I said, you learn from this one on Monday, Tuesday, you take a couple things from it. Maybe it stings for right now, but there's still a lot of football left to be played this season. You're still 4-1, not the worst position to be. So moving forward, these are 2 good football teams, but I think Highland really made a statement here tonight in an undefeated ball game with a 20-0 victory. Just the defense, the biggest point of emphasis tonight. They were impressive.
And your final score will be Highland Hawks 20, Basha Bears nothing. Highland moves to 5-0 and Basha falls to 4-1. Thank you for watching this live stream on Sports 360 AZ. For Andrew Bell, Austin Burnett. Highland moves to 5-0. Basha falls to 4-1. Thank you for watching this live stream broadcast on Sports 360 AZ. For Andrew Bell, I'm Austin Burnett. Thank you for watching, and as always, for all sports action around the valley, tune into Sports 360 AZ. Thank you for watching.